and welcome back to my channel. Woo! Alright, so I'm excited to do this one because this one is going to be my first ever story time video. So I love watching story time, so I'm so excited to join the people. Anyway, this story time is going to be about my first and last ever Tinder day. Woo! I know. So anyway, so I go to school and I work, and I'm just always busy with school, work, or family and friends or whatever. So I don't date very often. So my friends, this happened a year or two ago, convinced me to go on a Tinder date, or just to put yourself out there and talk to people on Tinder, download Tinder. So at first I was hesitant, but then I was like, okay, whatever. Everybody's doing it. Everybody at the time had a Tinder or a online thing. So I was like, okay, sure, why not? So if you swipe, I think left, you X the person out, but if you swipe right, you match with the person. If that person also swipes right, you both match each other, so then you can message each other. So me and a couple different people were messaging, and all of a sudden me and this one guy, we'll call him Jay, sort of messaging or whatever, and it was nice at first. We were messaging for 2-3 days, and it was just normal casual stuff, what are you into, how old are you, this just normal, are you in school, do you work, normal stuff like that. And I was telling him this, that, and the third, and he seemed cool. He was cool, I was cool. And then after a couple days, he was like, we should meet up. And I was like, okay, sure, as long as it's in a public place, just because you could be crazy. And he was like, yeah, sure, I completely understand that. So in the city where I lived at the time, they had this river walk or whatever, and it was really pretty, and it was over the river, and I used to zip line over the river and everything, so we were both agreed, hey, let's go down there. And I was in school at the time, and that's where the dorms were at, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, why not? So then him, and I think two of my other friends, we meet up, and we go down to the river. So I'm at one bench with him, and then I think 2 of my other friends were at this other bench, a little feet away or whatever, I don't know, 20 feet away, I don't know math, but 20 feet away or so, and they took my phone to make sure that I would engage in him, and we were talking, and it seemed fine, but I don't know, it was just weird, because we just met, and you're all over me, you're kissing me on the cheek, and it was just it was just much after I just met you. So then all of a sudden, it starts drizzling. So then my friends come over and they're like, hey, let's go up to my dorm because it's really, it's starting to rain. So I was like, okay, sure, let's go up to the dorm. And he agrees, and we all go up to the dorm. We're all sitting, and my friend, I think she bakes cookies or whatever. She bakes cookies, and then we're watching watching Hulu, and the whole time he's just weird, because he's oh, mind you, this is our first meeting. It's not even, I wouldn't even call it a date, because it's our first meeting up, not even an official date. And he's like, hey, I really like you, you seem so great, and this and the third. And I was like, okay, well, you seem cool too, you just meet somebody. So I feel all these unnecessary praises, it's just it's just fake, and it's just a lot. So what I'm saying, we're talking, and the guy's just still arm around me, just all over, really close to me, and it's just a lot to handle. So then I think one of the RAs come in, and they're saying, hey, we're having I think it was a tornado warning or something, so we all had to go into the stairwell in the hallway. So as we're in the stairwell, he follows me on Instagram, and then I was like, okay, well, that's cool. And then he follows all of my friends on Instagram, which is, we just met, mind you, we just met. And then he starts messaging my friends hey, two, more than one, 2 of my friends, and it's hey, I really like Lovey, I'm really into Lovey, I think I love Lovey. Mind you, this was all in the same couple hours, we just met each other, and he's hey, I'm really into you, this, that, and the third. And I was well, I guess that's nice, thank you for that, I mean, you seem cool. What? It was just a lot to handle people in one day. He's just he's messaging I really into her, and I think I should just, I'm just gonna kiss her, and this, that, and the third, and all this other stuff. And I'm and then my friends at the time, they wouldn't let me see the messages. I don't know. So then what happens? Oh, after the tornado drill is over, he, we're all gonna go home. I was living in an apartment, but we were at the dorms, but I was living in an apartment with my other friend. And she was like, oh, well, we could drop you off at your house. And he was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So then we're driving, and he was like, oh, well, this gas station was connected to a Taco Bell. And he was like, oh, just drop me off this Taco Bell, and I'm gonna call one of my other friends to come get me because I'm gonna get something to eat. So we're like, okay. So we're like sitting in the van, and he's like, I'm really into you, this, that, and the third. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. But I was like, well, yeah, you seem like nice. Like, he seemed really nice. It was just like overly nice. And then whatever, he kisses me or whatever. I'm a whore. And he gets out, leaves, whatever. Me and my other friend, we go back to our apartment, and I think I took a shower that night, and when I got out of the shower, I had like 3 missed calls and like 2 missed text messages, and I was like, it was all from him. So then I answer it, after I get out of the shower, and I was like, hello. He was like, this is where it starts getting like really weird, people. He's like, so you're never gonna believe what just happened to me. And I was like, OMG, what? He was like, these homeless people just came in, they just beat me up, and they took my wallet, and they took all my luggage, but they let me keep my phone. He had a really nice phone. That's like the first thing a homeless person's gonna take, is probably your cell phone, because it was really nice. So I'm listening to him, and I'm just like, what you want me to do about it? Like, you can't come here. I just met you, brother. And he's just like, well, I just don't know what to do. And I would tell him, like, you should call the police and call your parents. Because, okay, the whole night we were together, he was, like, name dropping, like, oh, I used to hang out with Paul Wall, and I, party in Miami with Drake, and this, that, and the third. So I'm like, okay. He's like, oh, my mom has she has a beach house, and, like a big house, and this, that, and the third. So I was like, okay, well, you probably should call your mom so she could send you some money. You know what I'm saying? She could help you out. He's like, oh, well, I will. It's just so cold and wet. Because it was still raining, and I was just like, sorry. Okay, so then the next day, he, like, calls me and, like, texts me and, like, Snapchat messages me. And he was like, oh, because he, like, messaged me and was like, oh, I guess you're in class. Sorry to keep bothering you. I just really miss you. And this, that, and the third. Like, just, like, too much. So then the third day, the next day, he like, oh yeah, the second day, he like messages my friends like, where's Lovey? I haven't seen Lovey all day. I haven't heard from Lovey all day. This, that, and the third. I am just the type of person, like, y'all, I don't check my phone 24/7. So like, if you text me, especially if I'm busy, like, I'm gonna text you like when I'm not busy, like later on. Like, that's just me. Unless it's like an urgent text message, like, I'm just not gonna text back. Like, I'm not a big texter or whatever. So then the third day, like, the second day I told him, I was like, hey, I'm just really busy today. Like, I'm probably not gonna be able to see you. And he's just like, oh, I just miss you so much. And I'm like, okay, bye. So then, okay, the third day, I meet back up with my other friends, and I'm like, hey, this is, like, really a lot. Like, I need to, like, break up with this guy or whatever, because this is, like, a lot to handle. So then my friend, she pretended to be me and, like, broke up with the guy, I guess. Like, she calls him, and she's like, hey, things just aren't working out. Like, this is just a lot to handle. Like, pretending to be me. And he's just like, oh, well, I don't understand what I did wrong. And she's just like, I'm just not into it. And then she tells him that I'm a lesbian. Just to, like, get him to leave me alone. Just because, like, you can't turn a guy down without, like, being a lesbian or having another guy. So then he, like, hangs up. And he's, like, really mad. So then he messages my other friends, like, he's just like, you know what, I wasn't even that into Lovey, this, that, and the third. Like, she was just being rude, this, that, and the third. My one friend blocked him. And then, so after, which is probably what I should have did before the date. But after the third day, me and my one friend, Simone, shout out, Googled him. And it was seen, like, he was from where he said he was from, but it was like, he's been arrested multiple times for, like, lewd, immoral, sexual behavior, for, like, sexual assault, like, all this crazy stuff. And it was just like, okay. So that's what happens on Tinder. And then, this is like a side note, I think a couple of months later, he, like, because I blocked him from like calling me, and I just deleted him off Snapchat and Instagram. But then he messaged me, I think again on Snapchat, and was like, "I'm back in Miami, bitch." He was like, "Come to this party, come hang out," and I blocked him off Snapchat. And then I think he messaged me on Instagram again, and I had to like block him again because it was like getting a little crazy. He's just really, well, shout out to you, Jay. But yeah, that is my my first and last Tinder date. I definitely did delete Tinder, and I'm just gonna wait for the Lord to bring me a vessel. Hallelujah. So peace, love, and subscribe. Please tell your friends about this video. Tell me things I could do to improve my YouTube status. And this is a heart. I have a fat neck. Yes. So yeah, just tell me what you thought about it. And yeah, follow me on Instagram, Twitter,